pants. And what we're going to do is, again, look at the basic features. These are made of the same kind of, I would imagine, cotton. It's non-ripstop. Same as the jacket. Same basic kind of features. It's got this snap closure at the top, but then it's got button and eyelet closures with 3 buttons down here, which isn't particularly unusual for a lot of non-US uniforms, where they'll have one type of closure doing the main work and then a different kind of closure at the top. A lot of my other uniforms have that kind of thing. It's really, I think, more of a national choice. There's no necessarily right or wrong way to do it. But other than that, we also have, again, the bottom. These are the cuffs can be cinched up to a certain degree with this button and eyelet. One which is barely closed, and another one which is pretty closed. Honestly, I don't even know why they put this one eyelet in here, because I can't imagine it would do a whole heck of a lot. Interestingly, they're not elasticized, which I would have kind of expected given the waist of the jacket, but it's only a minor point. Again, we have these foam enclosed knee pads, which again aren't going to do a whole heck of a lot, but they'll protect you against the small stuff. Moving up here, we're going to move this a little bit, hopefully so it can be seen a little bit better, are these cargo pockets on the side. I apologize, this is not folding the way it needs to because of these knee pads, but well, that's about the best I'm going to be able to do. They're pretty comparable in size to the chest pockets on the jacket. Again, they're big enough that you can really stuff anything in them that you would need to. And then moving on from that, we've got these weird slash pockets with these grommets right here and right here, which I guess are to prevent it from ripping. It seems overly complicated, but what are you going to do? The interesting thing more about these slash pockets, though, is, and hopefully you can see that, is that they're actually just pass-throughs. So I don't know, again, if these were designed to be paratrooper versions or something like that, where they were overlays for a standard uniform, and those pass-throughs were intended to allow the wearer to get to inner slash pockets. I don't know, but it does make them slightly odd as a result. You'll see that on a lot of Italian uniforms, though. I've done that in my review of my Italian 1989 desert stuff. Saw the same thing. There wasn't slash pockets on that. They didn't even have pass-throughs on those. They just struck them completely. So it seems to be an Italian thing. I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. Slash pockets really don't have a whole heck of a lot of use. And in keeping with that, these also don't have any rear wallet pockets, which again I think is a smart deletion if you're going to take something out. Again, they don't serve a whole heck of a lot of purpose for guys, especially if you're just playing airsoft. But obviously these were designed for a little different purpose. But again, how much do those guys really use that kind of stuff, I imagine. The waist, notably, and if anybody noticed before, when I was doing the fastener, there is no belt loops on this, which is interesting. Luckily, unlike the East German falling rain stuff, there are these suspenders, again with a button and eyelet system. The buttons are right here on the front of it, and they just adjust for height. They're actually integrated, unlike the tap the French lizard, airborne stuff that I have. They're sewn right onto the back as opposed to being affixed with more button and eyelets. There's also these waist adjustment tabs. Again, they don't really look like they would do a whole heck of a lot, but I guess for those minor adjustments, they do just fine. One thing I would like to mention is the construction of these is very interesting. And I mentioned this in my Italian desert uniform, but the stitching on these is very interesting. Hopefully you can see this, but it's obviously kind of rough, and I don't know if it's because a lot of the fabric or stitching tailoring talent in Italy goes to the fashion industry or what, but it seems to be kind of a, I guess, pattern would be the word for it. And it doesn't necessarily detract from the construction, but you'll see again more loose threads here. There's probably a couple in the jacket as well. And it could also be that these were originally detached, although I don't see any eyelet loops for them that have been sewn over. But I guess that could be one of the reasons that the stitching is so goofy. But overall, these are really, really comfortable, which seems to be again, a pattern with Italian stuff. These in particular are nice and baggy. They're probably about a size large in US terms, and they would probably be a pretty good way, or they would do a pretty good job of masking the wearer's form out in the field, just because of how they would lay on the person's figure. And that's never really a bad thing. They're not too baggy that they get in the way, but they are, like I said, baggy enough that they would probably have some camouflaging effect in the cut alone. And again, they're comfortable. I wish they had belt loops, but between these and the jacket, which I didn't mention in that part of the review, they're nice and big, and they're roomy. You wouldn't overheat in them, and they seem cut very well. The pockets seem to be in good places. So overall, if you can get your hands on these, and I got mine from Hacienda Surplus for about, I want to say $80. Certain places they might be a little bit easier to get, just because of, if you're in Europe or something like that, they're going to be a little bit more available. But in the U.S., at least by this day and age, they've been out of service for long enough that they're really not particularly common. I've seen Sportsman's Guide has had them on a couple occasions, but those supplies obviously dry up pretty fast. But when they do have them, they're about, I want to say, $50, so they are cheaper. I don't know if Hacienda still has the Italian stuff. I think the last time I checked, they didn't have them anymore, and that's too bad because they are a nice pattern. Sportsman's Guide does have the San Marco coveralls every once in a while, though, and I'll review those at some point. Those are also very comfortable. They're similar pattern, similar cut. They're just obviously coveralls versus a two-piece suit. But if you can get your hands on some, they're definitely worth checking out. Hopefully this wasn't too painful to watch. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll try and be back soon with another review of one of my camouflage patterns that I have available right now. And I'll see you then. Bye.